How do people perceive this mother-daughter combination when you all first said? Did they take you all seriously?
I don't think anyone took us seriously. But, my mom and I always welcome a challenge with open arms, and we're just powerhouses.
The MFN Podcast it is. Welcome once again. We've got the lovely Krishna Shroff with us, the promoter, the brains, every second involved person. Thank you so much for joining me once again.
Awesome to be here.
It goes out everywhere when you listen to other podcasts that talk about mixed martial arts across the country, the world. Is there one promotion apart from, say, the most obvious UFC, which you actually think has potential to break through? And can a strangled hold or a monopoly of UFC be broken, like it happened with cricket also, happened in other sports also?
Yeah.
Can that happen, do you think, in the future?
Absolutely. MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world. And it's, not being biased here, but definitely the most exciting sport in the world, in my opinion. Yeah. Anything can happen at any point in a fight, I truly believe the PFL has that potential. They're already killing it, absolutely killing it in the space. But with their fighter-first mentality, which is exactly what MFN imbibes, I believe will take them to the next level. Because at the end of the day, the fighters are our characters. They're our stars. Yeah. Without them, the promotion doesn't exist.
Why do you think government support hasn't come in? Just only because of the brutality that they perceive it to be?
Personally, I can't say 100%, but personally that's what I believe is the reason. I still believe there's, a lack of knowledge. And, people are slowly starting to learn and slowly starting to believe and understanding that it's a sport with, rules and regulations and skill set.
I think that's also one of the primary reasons why we wanted to start this podcast.
Yeah.
But the first thing that people always ask is when they have names attached to it. Why Matrix Fight Night?
There's no heavy reason behind that. It was just something that we believe sounded really cool, and we went with it.
So were you Keanu Reeves and Matrix fans also? Is that how?
Definitely, but we actually didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
It was just something that clicked. Yeah, and we just went with it.
Was there any other name ever in your head when you were
Never.
No?
Never. It was always Matrix.
Wow. And that's what the gyms are also now. So I think that's also, we talk about that also, how, you sort of utilize a brand and syndicate the brand name and you take it forward.
Yeah.
What's MFN for you now? Is it your life or is it a part of it?
It's everything. It's everything because it's allowed me to do exactly what I wanted to do in, pursuing my passion. I've followed the sport for, like I said, 2 decades. And, that's a long time to be invested into something. And now to be able to spread the knowledge of the sport, to give our athletes, guys and girls, a stage to showcase their skill set on a global level is a huge achievement for me.
Internationally, when you look at it, China started dominating a lot of Olympic sports, as far as the sports was concerned.
Yeah.
America was always the leader in a lot of track and field and all that. In all your years of watching it, which countries do you think have the most MMA culture?
The most MMA culture?
Would you look at the Thai countries with Muay Thai boxing or?
Definitely, absolutely. Just South Asia, Southeast Asia, it's huge. If we look at the other side of the world, I'd say Brazil. Brazil's a massive population as well.
And they do a lot of capoeira as well.
Yeah, many different forms.
Forms of.
Yeah.
Well, your favorite form of martial art, if you had to choose one, would be?
I love watching the strikers go at it. Boxing primarily is my favorite. Yeah. But any striking matchup, that's always super exciting.
Oh. When Tiger was learning when he was younger, didn't you try to your mom told me that I'm going to put her, she put him in when he was 4 or something.
Yeah.
What about you?
I started off with karate with him.
Yeah.
I was seeing him, go yellow, green, in his belts. Move whatever the colors are, the order of the colors. Move up in that, and I was just stuck on my white belt. So I was a little disheartened, and I quit.
Okay, so why were you stuck? Because you just didn't feel like it?
I just didn't have the skill for it, I guess. Karate is not my forte. You know, I like I said earlier, I'm more into boxing. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, well, that actually happened to a lot of us. You know, I started Taekwondo, but you have to like get a grade above to be able to move ahead, and it irritates you.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you see all the people around you sort of get better, and it goes. Your mum and you is like, this is, you know, it's an enigma for me. Because sometimes the last people that people want to do business with is own family.
Right.
So husband wives will say, no. We're not like, we appreciate each other's work.
Yeah.
And brothers also, always very difficult. And very few moms and daughters doing business together, sitting on the same table.
Yeah.
Was that even a consideration that, you know, would we have conflict of interest?
Not at all, honestly. You know, my mom, she's not just my mother, she's beyond that. She's a best friend, you know, she's everything to me. And we have a relationship between us where, I mean, we're so close. I want her involved in every aspect of my life because I don't trust anyone more than I trust her, you know. And she's raised both Tiger and I with a very open communication between us. Yeah. So that's, you know, allowed us to feel more comfortable and I think have a closer relationship. So yeah, I mean, if I can't trust my mom with this, who can I, you know?
But how do you keep ideas separate if you don't agree? I mean, do you all always just like who gives in more?
I think we're pretty good at listening to each other and pretty good at understanding each other's thought process. We definitely find a middle ground. It's, you know, it's never one or the other. We're pretty good at coming to a conclusion that we both believe is the best for the brand.
You know, I remember chatting with Ekta Kapoor once, and Ekta was like the ideas and she wants all that. And Shobha Aunty used to meet me and say, yeah, she wants a chopper with that shot. Now what we'll do is we'll take some footage that already exists of a chopper. She would play the producer role.
Yeah.
Does that happen with you? She said, like, listen, it's okay if she wants that, but give her something like that at 1/4 the price. That's how we have to do it.
Right, yeah.
Does that happen with the two of you all also? If you all have these dreams, or would you all both go for with the same gusto to achieve that?
Yeah, I think the latter. We're both such dreamers, you know, and we're so blessed to share the exact same vision.
So who's like the practical, let's think about how we can also not waste extra money?
You know, I'd actually say that's me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm so, I don't want to say stingy, but I'm really careful with money, you know, because I understand the value of it and how hard we work to have it, you know, and it's the easiest thing in the world to spend. So,
in the family, who's the biggest spendthrift?
I'd say my mom.
Yeah. Yeah, but is she like the one for...
But she's always spending for the family.
Yeah, I was
you
just
know what
say.
I mean? Her love language is gifts. So she loves to, you know, just anytime she's out, she'll always pick something up for the three of us.
What if you all don't like it on those birthdays? Is it one of those very stressful occasions when you know you've got something from them?
It's actually...
I love it, but...
It's stressful for mom because, I mean, you know, we're blessed. We have everything we need, everything we want. Tiger's extremely low maintenance. Yeah, so is my father, actually, extremely low maintenance. And
so you're the one who's high maintenance?
No, I wouldn't say high maintenance, but not as low maintenance as the two of them, that's for sure. I'm a woman at the end of the day.
Of course.
But I think she's figured us all out really well.
Yeah, she's actually running the ship,
yeah.
But also the two of them running the ship very well also. How do people perceive this mother-daughter combination when you all first said? Did they take you all seriously?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone took us seriously. But, you know, my mom and I always welcome a challenge with open arms, and we're just powerhouses of human beings, you know. We're such alphas. So even though we're involved in such a male-dominant industry, we welcome that challenge and we make sure we do it the best to our capabilities.
Do you all end up doing a little bit extra because it's the men out there?
I think so.
And having to show them, listen, I need
so.
to show you your place as well, because I have my place as well.
Definitely when we started off, not so much anymore. Especially now, you know, I mean, you got such strong women across various fields. You know, women are just as capable, if not more capable than men.
You know, there's always a thought process that, you know, whether Bollywood as a glam quotient should be used. You know, Kabaddi used that, cricket used that.
Yeah.
All of these sports used it. I've always seen that you're okay with not using that as well. You know, you're
with MFN.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, with MFN, you're saying that it's fine. Listen, let's keep it separate.
So remember when I spoke about the other promotion that triggered this inception? they were so focused on the Bollywood angle of it,
Yeah.
bringing these Bollywood stars to their shows and taking away from the fighters.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the fighters are the stars,
Yeah.
So we were very clear on that from the very beginning. They're the absolute main part of this promotion, and it wouldn't run without them.
How difficult is it to get fighters that conform to your kind of thinking? A lot of them are not from, your various backgrounds.
Yeah.
You're getting fighters that are gaon khede se, villages, this,
Yeah.
that, and they've just literally don't even know what MFN is, learn how to fight. How difficult is it to get them to be part of your vision?
No matter where they come from,
Yeah.
they all share that same vision. A lot of these guys and girls, they've been doing it for way longer than even we have, and been involved in the sport, So, we can learn from them, if anything. I don't think there's...
But what's the biggest concerns they used to have when you used to meet them? When you all, imagine the two of you all meeting them for the first time. You go back to 19 and early 20s, 2020. What is their biggest concerns when you used to meet them?
Their biggest concerns?
Yes. When they used to say that, oh, I want you on board, but they say, ma'am, but ye karna hai.
I
Kya
think
ye ho payega?
like any professional, it was probably money.
Yeah.
Also, they have families that they need to, prove something to. And most of the challenges that they faced was the fact that their mothers and fathers were saying, how are you going to make a living off of this? Who's going to pay you for this? Because it wasn't recognized in our country. So I think that was definitely their main concern.
And also, sometimes you have state governments that, when you win a gold medal somewhere, they'll give you land and they do all that. And that's not the case over here, though that has started to happen also. Jojo, one of the fighters of MFN, actually did get land and sort of has helped. Now in like the last few years, have you met parents again and have they like come and said thank you so much?
Absolutely, yeah. So many of these guys and girls, families come up to us if they see us at the shows, and they're so appreciative and so thankful. It's definitely changed a lot of their lives.
What's the biggest hurdle for you, in all of, not just creating MFN also, but also creating a brand that will be able to sell, the brand that in India they believe in and abroad they also start to believe?
Just that actually, getting people to believe in the vision. Especially because it's still, although it's the fastest growing sport in the world, it's still very new, especially in our country. So, sponsors coming on board, they have many questions. We have to sell it hard because there's no pre-knowledge of it.
Correct.
So we're teaching them from the grassroots level.
Have you been upset about the fact that even though you end up doing so much, there's a lot of money being spent in the promotion, you're trying to take it out there, you'll still have people asking questions about ABC, and you're kind of hoping that they would have reached PQR by now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that frustrating?
It is, for sure, but we knew that that's the way it's going to be, and it's going to be a process, it's going to be a journey, but it's one that we're very, very sure of, and consistency is key. So the more we put out there, the more visibility it gets, and the more knowledge people will be able to obtain.
Do you watch any other sport?
I used to watch a lot of football, actually. Yeah, I played a lot of sports growing up, all sorts of sports.
Cricket was not one of them?
No, no. I'm learning now a little bit because, a really close friend of mine, she just married a cricketer.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely learning because my close group of friends, we have some of them.
And you're going to watch him playing cricket and you're going to have to at least have something to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they have, what about, so now that circle is there, do they recognize MMA?
They are so intrigued by the sport. They don't fully understand it and what it takes to be a professional MMA athlete, but the intrigue is there, 100%. Yeah.
Andrew Flintoff, it's crazy. I'll just tell you the story. He actually played for England, of course, was a great all-rounder cricketer. When he retired, he tried MMA and became a professional MMA fighter.
No way.
And it's crazy. And he was never fit as a cricketer. Brilliant talent.
Yeah.
But now he's in the fittest shape of his life and actually started MMA well into his 30s.
Wow, that's amazing.
So his age, so that in England, they actually transformed, they put this entire story out as to how he became a professional MMA fighter after leaving cricket. Is there an age factor would you recommend when people say, am I too old for this? I had people that came in to watch MFN 10, 11.
Yeah.
They said, listen, we're not young, but what if we want to do this? Have you seen people at a later age in life taking this?
These athletes, like many athletes, they have a very short lifespan, when it comes to their profession. But you have people at the highest level. There's a fighter who used to be in the UFC, Yoel Romero. He is now in Bellator, but he started his professional career in the UFC in his 30s.
Wow.
Yeah, and he fought for the belts, you know, he was
like,
fighting high level. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, it's what you put in. It's how you take care of yourself that'll determine your longevity.
Do you feel scared that it could go to the next level with some fighters when you're fighting? Because it's no holds barred.
Yeah.
They're deadly machines. And it's sport, yes. But when you're watching, are you ever, as a promoter, also a little scared?
You know, my mom's a lot more connected emotionally in that sense. I'm able to, you know, look at it purely as the sport that it is. I think the guys and girls who get in there, they're very well aware of, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we have our professionals in place. That includes our referees,
yes,
who's there. It's their job to save the fighter, you know, if needed. Yeah. So that's what differentiates this as a sport as opposed to a regular street fight.
Correct,
you know,
correct.
The rules and regulations, the professionals involved, they're all in place.
So I have to ask a question that everyone asks me also. Is death possible? Would you ever think of that also as a promoter? And even though like all the checks and balances are in place,
yeah,
but has that word ever crossed your mind when you're watching a fight?
Yeah, for sure. And it's happened in the past.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's happened, you know, in other sports too.
Yes, yes, yes.
It can happen if you're just crossing the road.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
even F1, like Formula One is similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I know those, when you watch all these shows, they say, they go into that thought. Once they start driving, they forget about it.
Yeah.
But that thought is there with the families.
For sure, 100%. And, you know, I hear a lot of what these guys and girls say. They say more than the physical preparation, it's the mental preparation that makes you, you know, get to that next level of becoming a champion. Because all of this is definitely, you know, a part and parcel.
Can you imagine going into a ring and actually thinking about that? Knowing that, of course, the rush of adrenaline, the energy is very high. But we've personally seen like some bad, I've seen stuff in front of me as well. You know, I've never seen you flinch, but when a break happens,
no,
you don't flinch. That's what I'm saying. You got your game face on for everything.
Seeing that kind of stuff, it doesn't really shake me.
Hospitals, when you see blood
that's different.
Really?
Yeah, that's different. That's very different.
You know, like needles.
I'm all right with needles. But I don't like hospitals. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, especially if you're going to the casualty ward, it's trouble.
Yeah.
Lots more that we're going to talk about, but yes, it is one of those things that, you know, you think about. Death is omnipresent. It's not probably going to happen ever. It can happen when you're skydiving as well, when people jump off a plane, and that happens. I lost a friend once who was skydiving. He was a professional jumper. Way. 7 years of skydiving.
Oh my God.
And the crazy part is he had his cam on when he fell. And so in the last few seconds of it, you know, I've got goosebumps now. When he said, I'm sorry, all he said was sorry, because from the army, and some crazy stories there, he'd worked with the UN, got shot on his helmet, father was in the army, nothing happened.
Survived all of that.
And skydiving.
Wow.
So, you know, it happens everywhere, but it's not like that entire group of friends of them that were the professional unit, they didn't stop. In fact, after he died the next day, they jumped, in fact, 100 skydivers jumped in honor of the man that was jumping. So, you know, professional sport is always that, but, you know, that's why these professional athletes, and that's why you will always see this running at the bottom of the screen. Don't try this at home. Absolutely. Because this is not something that you can just figure out and jump on your sister and brother and try this out, right? Krishna, thanks again for joining me. We'll catch you again on another episode of this MFN podcast. Something that sort of, you know, we keep talking about how there's not enough awareness. This is the route to reach more awareness. This is your education, and that's what I hope to do with this. Take care and I'll see you soon.